Irving Lambert. I am a director, producer, actor. I do everything. I really have my hands on everything.
Editing, whatever you need. Do you do VFX or no?
Some.
Okay.
Some VFX, but
Okay.
not like crazy graphics. No.
No. Not yet.
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm okay. I wanna know, but I'm okay. Trust me. It's fairly difficult. You know what I mean? It's pretty much moving Photoshop. It's pretty much moving Photoshop. If you know how to do Photoshop, you, in a sense, could play with After Effects.
Okay.
In a sense.
In a sense.
Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
So I guess you're doing all of this stuff when you were young. Where were you born? Were you from LA? Somewhere else?
I was born in Queens, New York.
I didn't know.
Queens, New York. Lived there till I will say 4.
Okay.
I don't have too much memory, but I do have some memory of New York, and moved to Florida, Hollywood, Florida.
Oh, okay.
Hollywood, Florida. I lived there till I was 12 years old, and then moved to Chambersburg, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And from there, I graduated. I was there from 6th grade till I graduated high school.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which area did you like the most?
What's crazy? So I did like Florida for a time period.
Mm-hmm.
There is some dark moments when I lived in Florida. There was a lot of dark moments, but I actually genuinely liked it because, I just didn't care about the world. And Chambersburg wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? I was the new kid at the block, whatever.
Right.
But it was pretty cool. I did like Chambersburg because there's a lot of things I learned. I guess skill-wise and life skill-wise, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's a lot of things I learned in Chambersburg, and then after I left Chambersburg, I went to Gaylord, Michigan for college. Yeah, so I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
I had zero friends, zero connection.
Wow.
My mother was like, we're moving there.
Wow.
Things happen, personal life, and then we ended up moving up there, and I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't want to move up there, but it is what it is at that moment.
Are you an only child, or you have siblings too?
No, I got siblings. So I definitely got siblings. So with my mother, I'm the oldest.
Okay.
So with my father, I'm the middle child.
Okay.
So yeah, I got overall, it's gonna sound wild, 13 siblings. With a combination of my mother and father. But there's 4 with the ones I grew up with.
Right.
Yeah, there's 4 of us with my mother.
God.
You know what I'm saying? There's 4 of us, but overall there's 13. That I had. You know what I mean? So it's wild.
That's a lot of birthdays to keep up with.
Oh no, I don't remember. If I don't remember, that's it. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm like, I forgot. I remember at least 6 of them. At least 6 of them.
Okay, that's good.
You know what I mean? But if I forget, I forget. I try to remember everybody. I at least remember the month. I at least remember the month of everybody's birthday.
Okay.
I at least remember the month.
Is there one? When did you start maybe having an interest in doing videos or something creative?
I think I started having love for just industry in general when I was 5, because as a kid, my mother would tell you I would memorize people's dialogue from movies. Not that she would promote that I remember the whole dialogue of Beverly Hills Cop or Rush Hour.
Right.
Not as a child you're not supposed to watch movies like that, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? And then I guess when I started doing my own thing, I guess quote unquote, I would pretend that we're doing Dragon Ball Z in the backyard with my friends, pretend we're characters. And then there's one time when I moved to Pennsylvania, I saw a school play, my 6th grade year. I saw a school play, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna do that. And then, I think a couple months later, I looked in a sewer drain in my projects, in the projects I lived in, and I saw a cell phone, a flip phone that had a camera on it, a Verizon phone. So I went to a local dollar store, bought a fishing hook, and fished it out. And then bought a charger from the pawn shop, charged it up, and that's how I started doing cell phone videos, stop motion with my action figures and send them to my friends. Or just show my friends. I couldn't send them because there's no service on it.
Right.
But like I would just, that's how it started.
And you were how old when you found this phone?
I was 11 or 12.
What a creative kid.
I was 11 or 12 years old.
Looking in the sewer like, you know what, I think I want that. I think I'm gonna mess with it. How was the quality?
But you know, it's crazy because I have an Android phone right now that still has those videos to this day.
Beautiful.
That I have a lot of videos to this day.
That's awesome.
Which is crazy.
That's awesome.
So
there was no water damage, no nothing.
There was definitely, but you know, the flip phones last forever.
That's true. That's a good point.
The flip phones last forever. They literally, like, there was definitely snow happened, rain happened, everything happened. I picked it up and it worked.
Wow. When you started making the videos, how was your friends' reactions to it?
They were like, you're a nerd, da da da. Like they knew, but the thing is, they understood. Like I understood as a young kid. Like, okay, I'm fairly different. Like because you know I like anime, I like this, I like that. Like I like stuff that's like not stereotypical or anything like that. A kid that is from you know I would say the low income houses or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So like I wasn't in that type of like you know mindset. I'm like no, like I like these type of cartoons. I like this type of music. This, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So my friends were just like, yo, you're stupid. I'm like, hey, you know what I'm saying? But you know my close friends like, you know, we want to see something out of that. You know what I'm saying? We want to see something out of that. So my close friends like understood like, you know, okay, this is what he does. You know? And then outside of that, I used to draw, you know, comic books for myself. But I still have these books to myself.
Wow.
I've never published them or anything like that. I would just freehand draw. And this is how I paid attention in class.
Wow.
This is how I paid attention in class. So.
Dang. When did you decide that you kind of wanted to take it maybe a step further?
One day, so when I did the school play and I was an understudy, there was an improv moment I did that nobody expected, and everybody was floored. Like, everybody was floored. It was that one moment, and when we had the standing ovation, I was just like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. That's 7th grade. You know what I'm saying? I knew back in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. If that little moment had people going crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what can I do, you know, past that?
Right.
I guess, you know, when I started being consistent on Vine, you know, sports, like, you know, I started doing sports and all that stuff, and I kind of, like, you know, eased off on doing videos and everything, but I still, like, did, like, fun videos with my friends, but never, like, published them. But then when Vine came around, that's when I'm like, okay, I started gearing down and, like, started doing this, you know what I mean? Dang.
When you started Vine, did you expect it to go any which direction, or it was one of those like, I'm just gonna mess with it?
I was literally having fun with it. I was just having fun with it. I was hyped for like 5 likes, all that stuff.
Of course.
And like, what was it? Like my one biggest revine I ever had. It's from an old Viner. Her name is The Gabby Show. She revined one of my things, and I thought I was lit. You know what I'm saying? It was like 2,000 likes. I was like, oh yeah, I'm lit. So I tried to strike gold again, 5 likes. I'm like, well, I went triple styrofoam. Like, what is this?
My God. But you kept with it.
Oh yeah, no, I kept with it because with even like, you know, going to college and everything, like people like, yo, you need to relax. You know, everybody else has been established. They've been doing this. And I hear you, but I like doing this. And everything. So it was a challenge. It was a challenge. You know what I mean?
Who kind of gave you the most pushback? Because you said college, you got some pushback.
Oh, a lot of mostly like when I was living in Michigan. I had some local support. You know what I'm saying? I had some local support, but there's some people that like I went to college with was just like, yo, like, you know, you're not gonna go too far. Like I've heard it all. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't stupid. You know what I'm saying? The college staff, they, you know, you know, they said what they had to say, which is fine.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Pretending I was oblivious, but like deep down, like, okay, cool, that's totally fine.
Right.
But you know, just had the same energy when I blow up. Just that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Did you have anybody who was the opposite and was pushing you to keep going further?
There was I think one or two people. Like there was one or two people, but most of the people were kind of like, you know, Irv's just doing it because he's, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I would say 98% of my classmates, even the people I went to high school with,
Yeah.
like the people I went to high school with, unless you knew me personally, I didn't say much. I stayed quiet and I stayed in my corner. People that know me, they're like, oh yeah, he didn't say much. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I didn't, you know. I still don't say much to this day. You know what I'm saying?
Pretty quiet guy.
I'm like, yeah, I just don't say much. So when there's a couple people that you know kind of encourage me, like keep on going. But you know, most of the time, like people are just like, all right, cool, we'll just support and just see where it goes. You know what I mean?
Wow. When did you start seeing maybe those tides kind of turning? Was there a point that you
I got my first brand deal at the end of Vine.
Wow.
It was with Microsoft. I forgot the man's name, but shout out to him. But Vine pretty much gave people eviction notice, was just like, y'all gotta figure it out. And I got my brand deal, and a person I worked with was like, no, there's no way, because you gotta have millions of followers. I'm like, no, this is a legit email I got. So I made sure I called like to see if it's a legit email. They're like, no, we'll fly you out to LA, try out this new technology called a HoloLens, and this, that, and third. You know, I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Flew out.
Wow.
And I experienced that. I was only in LA for 10 hours. 10 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So I experienced that, like that little, like, I guess, lavish lifestyle, put in a hotel, all that stuff.
Right.
And I immediately was just like, bet. I'm like, if I got that, that was enough motivation to like, I can get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, because it was draining because, like, I was not seeing any results out of the, you know, now the Vine's on his deathbed, you know, I wasn't seeing any results, you feel me?
Right.
But
on Vine, how big had you gotten on Vine at that point?
I literally, it died when I hit 9,900.
Wow.
I hit 9,900.
Yeah.
I was gonna hit 10K. They're like, nope, y'all can leave.
Jeez.
And then went to Instagram. Humble numbers. I had 300 followers.
Yeah.
300 followers starting off.
Wow.
That was about 6 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, about 6 years ago.
Dang. So you come to LA, you're in LA for 10 hours, you have the experience, you go back. What's your thought process? All right, I did this.
I'm like, my thought process was, I'm moving to LA. Plain and simple. Like that literally, just getting exposed to that affected my work, affected like, you know, so what I was trying to do was trying to fish from a far pond, and try to like get brand deals from there. But it seems like I had to be here to do what I need to do.
Right.
So, you know, I had a group of guys I was gonna, like, I talked to them, I'm like, look, I'm thinking about moving to LA. Would you guys be down to move? Everybody was all with it.
Wow.
Everybody was all with it at the time.
Okay.
As it got closer, everybody fell off like flies. They're like, everybody was just like, yo, do you have a plan? No, I don't. They're like, do you have a house? No, I don't. I'm gonna figure it out. They're like, oh, so what about a job? We'll figure it out. Like, no, we gotta, like, these guys are like, they're more like, let's play the safe route. I'm like, nah, and because when is it safe for you guys to go? You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. You know what I mean? So,
were they creative guys too, or they were just like?
You know, they were more supportive. You know what I mean? They were supportive, and you know, I pretty much was just like, oh, you know, let's do videos together. You know what I mean? Yeah, when I got exposed to that LA, I immediately was just like, I'm gonna move. Yeah. So my job, I was at my job, and literally, I was a shift supervisor for like a section at a shirt factory. You know what I'm saying? And you know, graduated college, all that stuff. Like, I'm doing things like locally and all that stuff. Like, I'm making decent money for, a college graduate. And one day I was just like, one of the men just pulled me aside, like, yo, I noticed you like your work, you have great work ethic, but your work is, it's kind of like, it's, you kind of slipping up, Irv. Like, what's going on? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm like, this is what happened, and I'm gonna move to LA. And he's just like at first he kind of like looked at me sideways, and he's like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I did see this coming, because I didn't see you staying at this T-shirt factory any time longer, to be honest. Wow. So he's like, I went the safe route. He's like, but I wanted to do the producer, be with the but he's like, but I went the safe route. He's like, so what do you really want to do? I'm like, I put in my 2 weeks right now. That quick. Like, because the moment I commit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put in my 2 weeks. He's just like, bet. He's like, I did not expect you to make that decision. So I called a couple people to get their advice. They're like, end of the day, if you fail, you fail. You know what I'm saying? Because there's jobs everywhere, but opportunities don't come around. So I'm like, bet. So like, I sold everything. Sold everything, packed up with one tote, went back to my Pennsylvania for my sister, baby sister's graduation, high school graduation. Wow. And I looked at my mom like she didn't know to that day. I'm like, I'm out. She's like, wait, what are you talking about? I'm going to LA. She's like, is she like, oh, you visiting there? I'm like, no, I'm moving there like tonight. She's like, so she, and my, people that understand foreign parents, my mom is old school. She's like, well, you got a college degree, you should get a job, this, that. I'm like, Mom, relax. Just relax. Like, give me 3 years and you'll see. Yeah. Just give me 3 years and you'll see. You know what I mean? But,
Where's your mom from?
My mom's from Haiti. Okay. She's Caribbean. And, she's Caribbean.
Yeah, that's a hard transition when your son comes back and is like, hey. So you graduated, though, from college?
Yeah, I graduated.
What did you graduate with?
General. I didn't care. At that moment, I was in college just going through the motion. Like, at that moment, I was just, let me get this degree and let me be out. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I did the same. I did the 2-year associates, and then I was like, dude.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, don't get me wrong. There's certain jobs out there, please get a college degree. Yeah. I don't want a doctor operating on me, putting a how-to video in a VHS or DVR or whatever you use, or YouTube University try to operate on my chest. I'm not trying to have that. Please get a college degree. I encourage you. But if you have, other desires, realistically, you don't really need college. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain jobs out there you really do need a college degree. I'm going to keep it real with you. It is expensive. But college is expensive. But that's welcome to my TED Talk. But that's it.
Jeez. So you leave that night. You're on your way. I'm assuming you drove, or what did you do?
I drove. I went to Vader will tell you. I went to his house first, down in Maryland. We was gonna film together and all that stuff. Stayed at his house for a couple days, and he was like, so what you really want to do? Oh, he was like, where are you gonna go after this? Oh, I'm going to LA. Keep in mind, he has zero idea too. Keep in mind, and he has zero idea. Vader had no idea. He's like, wait, so you just going there visiting? I'm like, no, I'm moving there. He's like, oh, okay. Do you have a job or anything? I'm like, no. He's like, oh, where are you gonna stay? I don't know. He's like, how much money do you have? I'm like, $200. No, at the time period, $500. I made it to LA with $200.
Yeah, gas, all that. I wish there was a camera on you when you told Vader this, because I can only imagine him being like.
He paused me for a minute. He walked away. He paused me for a minute, walked away, calls Ryder Boy, and then he's like, "Can you tell this man what you just told me?" Yeah. And I told Ryder Boy, he's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I'm moving to LA." He's like, "Oh, you're crazy as hell." he's like, "You're crazy as hell," but he's like. But go for it. He's like, go for it. Yeah. He's like, what else do you gotta lose? I'm like, nothing. Yeah. So he's like, and Ryder Boy encouraged me, Vader encouraged me. Right. did I go for it. I went. Let me tell you, if I knew the things I was gonna go through in LA,
Yeah.
if there was like a curtain, like a life curtain, the show, I probably would have been like, If I would have known the challenges I would have went through,
Right.
I would have probably tried to play it safe. But
Right.
you know, life don't work that way. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right. How old were you when you did the move?
I'm not gonna say the age. Saying that, I'll say it. I'll let you bleep it out. Everything that you have lined up, I'm telling you, you can have plan A through Z.
Yeah.
All of them are gonna be trash. I promise you.
Yeah.
You're like an average person that ends up in LA.
Yeah.
Last 6 months.
Yeah.
Average.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's if you don't crack.
Right, and especially if they come with that sort of mentality that I think maybe you came and we came, where it's like, I'm just gonna wing it. We don't know. Like, we might stay here for a few months, we might leave. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
at that moment, I was like, look, it could be a major L.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And let me just try.
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my lease is up. I might as well. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's where I was at. Like, there's a lot of people that can tell you, like,
Yeah.
he sold everything. Like, I literally sold everything. I'm gonna make, like, in my head, like, one day I'm gonna get that back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that back.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
And then some. You know.
Exactly.
Right.
So that was my mindset.
Damn. You get here. You have a few challenges. Is there one challenge that kind of stands out to you the most?
Living.
Yeah.
Overall living.
Wow.
Well, I'll say number one is getting opportunities here. The game, like, I tell people, like, you gotta know people. Like, LA is like closed off, like cliques. Closed off. You don't know anybody, good luck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't know anybody, you're not getting it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It is.
And like, just living out here is hard. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because if you really want to be an entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I moved here, I did work at a job. It was like a pork factory, and it was
So random.
It was so random, and I was more depressed than I was in Michigan. I was like, bro,
Yeah.
I was like, I can't be doing this third shift and then try to film during the day.
No.
So
Right.
I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
So I threw my apron in the fryer and dipped out. The fryer wasn't on, keep in mind, because I could have been arrested, you know what I'm saying? Trying to like burn the place down, you know what I'm saying? But I threw my apron in the fryer and I was out, you know what I mean? Now keep in mind like my last check comes in, the last check I got was like from a job was like $750.
Yeah.
And I'm like, alright, cool. I gotta make this last.
Yeah.
Things happen. I had car issues. You know what I'm saying? I had car issues.
Yeah.
Then I get a phone call from my homie, what's good? So like, you know, I've been watching him for a good minute and like, you know, taking this like social media gold mine class. He's been dropping gems and everything. He calls me. I was like, hey, you know, I'm doing this Facebook commercial. I would love for you to, you know, be like a featured like person on the Facebook. I'm like, bet. So my car transmission goes out. I'm in Chino. Then I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, what can I really do? I'm like, I can't say no to this opportunity.
Right.
So people that know me, how insane I get, I walked. I walked from Chino close to Burbank. There's a time period that like I called my friend to her. I called her from Michigan. I was like, I may need help for you to like send an Uber or whatever. So send me the money. I paid her back. You know what I'm saying? I did pay her back, but like, but I walked. It took me, I think, 15 hours from Chino. I think close to Glendale. I made it. 15 to 16 hours. People that's like nonstop.
What? The gig was what, the next day? Same day?
The gig was the next day.
Oh my god.
So I got called in the morning and I started walking.
Wow.
Yep.
And you didn't want to ask, like, what's good?
No, I was too prideful.
Wow.
People that know me personally, I'm too prideful to ask anything. I'll suffer in silence before I ask anything. Because I can't call my mom and she'll be like, all right, now you're going to come back home. You know what I mean?
No,
So-
my dad would do the same thing. See, I told you you shouldn't have moved out there. I told you, and you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
You know.
So made it to the Facebook set. Cool. One of my homies, I was there. One of my friends, Jimmy. I was like, hey, do you mind taking me to Chino? He's like, he lives in the valley. He's like, Chino. I'm like, bro, I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just I couldn't tell him the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, bro, I will cash up you gas money whenever I get the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So.
Wow.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest moments. I don't think I'll ever do that again.
Yeah, that's a long walk.
It is.
Hopefully you never have to do that ever again. Maybe it's like for fun, but that's about it, you know? Wow.
It takes 16 to 17 hours to walk from Chino close to Glendale.
Wow. What was going through your mind on that walk?
Man. Like, did everybody else have to do this? Did everybody else, I was like, there's no way to, there's a lot more challenges. That's just one of the challenges I've been through. There's there's moments it got crazier and harder and harder. I'm like, bro, what in the world? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
It's hard.
Oh,
I think a lot of people think when they move here, they're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be exactly like what the showcase. It's gonna be, the mountains and the beaches, and it's gonna be great. And it's not that. It's not that.
I be telling people everything you see in Hollywood or in the movies and all that stuff, take that with a very grain of salt. That's probably 0.1% of Los Angeles or Hollywood.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't even know. You have to be here to know. You know what I'm saying?
If
you know, you know.
And you have to drive around, I think, to see the variations, because so many people think oh yeah, I'm in Hollywood and this is how it is, and it's like, no, go this way, you'll see this. Go that way, you'll see that. Be careful on this road,
be careful going here. Be careful going there. You know what I'm saying? I don't go to Hollywood Boulevard. I have seen it.
I don't like Hollywood.
Hollywood Boulevard's trash.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Hollywood is bad, and then downtown can be a pain in the butt a lot of the times. You know? But now I know downtown, so it's a little bit easier for me. I'm like, okay, you zigzag this way, and then you're good.
Exactly.
You got a few different hurdles that you kind of jumped through.
Yeah.
What was a moment when you got here where you were like, you know what? I've been working so hard. I've gone through all this stuff. I'm starting to see the fruits of my labor.
I think almost a year and a half ago.
Yeah?
Almost a year and a half ago. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for close to 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So about year 8, year 9, I'm starting to see something. You know what I mean? I get a gig to get paid. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, that's a small sprinkle. Then it was a NCAA commercial. That never aired because pandemic happened. The pandemic happened, and this was supposed to be one of my biggest breaks. And the buyout on there, it was pretty funny. I'll tell people the number. The buyout on there, if you a featured face on there, you get a $7,000 buyout. And you get paid for the work, and then and I'm the featured face, and I'm like, oh yes, this is dope. This, that, and the third. They never aired it. So that buyout, they kept it. So I get paid these bit of crumbs of money. I thought this was going to be they're like, oh, we're going to push it back because of, the pandemic. Okay, the pandemic is a month.
Yeah, no.
2 months. 3 months. You know what I'm saying?
Then more shit happens.
Yeah, so then I'm like, dang, this is tough. And then there was one day that I get a phone call. Ryder Boy was just like, yo, we're going to be doing things with Netflix streams. You know what I mean? So and that's when things started it was it's an interesting transition to because people are like, oh, you guys are in the industry, and I'm like, I don't see it. I guess whatever. I don't see it, but Netflix Dreams was the stepping stone for a lot of things, kind of opening up doors for a lot of creators and all that stuff. and just like from creating my own personal stuff, like, I got people that was on my case a little bit, because like I created some videos, and Doc was on my case, like he the machete to my neck. He's like,
Oh, no.
yo, not like that, but he's like, your videos are cool, but this doesn't tell me anything. And I'm like, what you mean? Like, because he's like, you gotta tell me a story. I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was on my head about that.
Yeah.
He was on my head for months for that. He's like,
Wow.
you gotta tell me a story.
Yeah.
He's like, these videos are great, but this doesn't tell me anything.
Right.
I'm like, you're right.
Huh.
You're right. And one time, like, I'm just writing an idea, and then, DJ calls me, he's like, yo, it's okay to have people in the kitchen, like, cook with you. I was just prideful, like, no, I write my own stuff and all that stuff, but like, I'm like, all right, DJ, boom, do you.
Yeah.
And he did whatever he got to do, sent it back to me. I'm like, this is better. I was like, all right, this makes sense now. All right, man, we're gonna go with that.
Right.
So now I just be calling him like, you're doing this.
Right.
Like, I'm not asking him, you're doing it. Like, so things started turning around, like, about a year and a half ago, and like, now things started turning even more when I dropped my Doritos commercial. And that was a couple months ago.
Right. Right.
Things started turning. You know what I'm saying? No, I would say a little bit before. So the hiccup I ran into, to give you the timeline, was got in that car accident last year. Somebody tried to turn me into a hashtag. They tried to send me to heaven's gates. They tried to make me a hashtag and put me on a t-shirt. Hey, shout out to the person because he just made me stronger. That's all I'm saying. But look, they was going 105 in a Camaro, sent me flying to a median. And I promise you, if I had a smaller vehicle, that would have been a different story. I promise you it would have been a different story. Yeah, it would have been a different story. So,
man.
Where
was that at?
I was leaving Vader's house. 2 in the morning. Just enjoying, listening to gospel music, singing my heart out. God didn't want me to sing anymore, and then sent me flying to the medium. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not blaming God for this.
No.
I'm sorry, Lord. I'm not blaming God. So that happened. So I pretty much went MIA for a month and some change. Nobody knows where I'm at.
Yeah.
Editing Powerpuff Girls. I did Powerpuff Girls. Shout out to my Powerpuff Girls. They believe in my project and everything. Did that. You was on set. You seen how I rolled and everything.
Right.
Did that. Dropped Powerpuff Girls, and then everybody's going crazy. Like everybody, like when I showed DreamCon, did not expect a standing ovation. And I'm like, oh shoot, I may have got something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that happened. All that stuff. Caught COVID. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm down for 3 months.
Freaking Texas.
It was Texas. Like, bro, freaking Texas. Texas has been having Texas has been taking L's. I'm sorry, they've been taking L's since 2018. Y'all got me COVID. You got the laws going crazy. We're not gonna go political. You know what I'm saying? Texas has been taking L's.
Oh my God.
So I caught COVID, went back home. You know what I'm saying? Went back home. Then I came back, did a fake Doritos commercial. Doritos themselves saw it. They're like, this is crazy. Everybody loved it. Like, I just dropped it on the internet.
Right.
I called my friend Johnny one time. Hey, I want to do this Doritos commercial. And he's just like, what? And then, called Pierre. Hey, pull up to the beach tomorrow.
Yeah.
Called my friend Drew. Yeah, shout out to Drew. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, hey, have you ever done water effects? He's like, no, I've never done water effects. I'm like, let's do it.
I love it.
And that's how it was. And then after that, that video caught the attention of a lot of people.
Wow.
And it surfaced. I didn't know how far it surfaced. Then it started turning. Then our idol, Kel Mitchell, reached out to me. Was just like, yo, I saw your Doritos commercial.
Right.
I want to do this for my book trailer.
Wow.
He's like, that's super dope what you just did. Keep in mind, I was going to say no. I was at 80% no.
Wow.
Because I had a lot of things going on.
Oh, I see.
Like at the same time, we had Netflix Dreams around the corner.
Right.
I got reached out to by a person to do Anime NYC. On top of that, Genshin Impact commercial. So I had a lot of things lined up.
Right.
So I'm like, and then like, and the turnaround time was actually really tight. So I'm like, bro.
I remember that.
And I called, and then I called a couple people. Called Wes first. The call was good, like
Yeah.
He's the guy that be like making sure I'm good. Like I called him like, yo, I got reached out. What do you think I should do? He's like, bro, you should do it because that's our idol. And I hear you, but this is what's going on. He's like, but when's this opportunity gonna come around? And I'm like, you're right. So called Vader, all that stuff.
Right.
Got the 3. Let's go for it. I'm like, all right,
Wow.
let's do it. Now the moment I said let's do it, I'm like, I felt more of a pressure.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
Did that. Then Genshin Impact commercial came around. Then another incident happened. Getting another car accident. You was in that car with me. You was in the car.
That was terrible.
Then the same night, I was like, everybody's like, what are you gonna do? I'm driving back to Pennsylvania that night.
Yeah.
That night, I drove back to Pennsylvania. And keep in mind, it was 10 p.m. I left. And I started driving back.
After a full day of being
After a full day of set.
Yeah.
People don't know how crazy I be getting.
You are quite insane. I talk to Sean about that all the time, and he's like, he did what? I was like, he's on his way right now. He's like, huh? Like, does this man sleep? Like, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
No, there's that, and then now like I started now I'm getting my hands on a lot of things. Now like doing fan films, all that stuff, and now like I'm leaning into like about to make originals, so like.
Nice.
Now I was pushing buttons with a couple things, what I'm saying, like was during the pandemic when I did Army of Two, I had like 90 people on my set, which was a hard no-no.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I can't trade. At the end of the day, I can't trade that.
Yeah.
So.
It still came out dope.
Oh, it came out great.
Yeah.
It came out great.
Yeah. And it's the fearless attitude that I think that you have that helps.
Oh, don't get me wrong. There's fearless attitude. There's sometimes I'm like, I'm nervous because now like my upcoming Powerpuff Girls, I'm nervous.
Really?
Yeah, I'm nervous.
What about it makes you nervous?
I don't know the reaction I'm gonna get. Especially what's gonna happen in it.
Well, yeah, that's true.
What's special what's gonna happen in it and the direction I'm going.
Right.
People I hope people catch what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I drop subtle hits in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's an hour long. It's an hour long. Now my next project I'm about to do in 2 weeks, One Piece. One Piece is pretty much like if you mess up the timeline, the fans are on your head.
Yeah.
They're on your head. So I had to make sure I covered my tracks.
That's true.
Hard.
That's true.
Yeah,
Gosh. Which project would you say has been your most ambitious yet? Or is it yet to come?
I think One Piece. Right now, the one that technically I filmed was Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff Girls is probably the most ambitious. But like then I would be thinking crazier and crazier and crazier.
True.
So like because my next project after One Piece, somebody introduced me to pyrotechnics. So I want to set myself on fire for a video. The moment they introduced that to me, I was like, bet.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in your group who's as crazy as you are?
Vader.
You think so? Yeah.
I know Vader.
Yeah.
Like Vader's not gonna do it just to do it for fun.
Right.
But you tell him action, he's jumping out of a window. Like I promise you, he's jumping out of a 20-foot building or a 20-story building when it says action. You know what I'm saying?
How did you guys know that you guys were going to be a pretty decent duo working together?
I think it started like clicking because we was in group chats together. You know what I mean? We was in group chats together, and then I met him. I went to one of his meetups. We all chopped it up and everything.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool and all that stuff. And ever since then, it just grew. You know what I'm saying? Like he started saying like, oh, you do this. You know what I'm saying? And then it just clicked from there. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and then pretty much the whole group, like
Right.
both graphics and everything.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because together y'all made some pretty dope projects all together, and I love the support that I think I always see on set. Like so with Pierre, it's like someone might not show up, but Pierre's like, "Hey, I'm here." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
no, it be like that. I tell people like my sets are not like our set. Like none of our sets are like oh like in the street. Da, da. No, I don't know how everybody's sets are ran, but like I like to just keep it chill. I like look. I'm the type of person I want to learn, what I'm saying, with other people's positions, so I know how hard it is.
Right.
So I can make it easier for you and easier for me. Like, doing the makeup.
Right.
I have knowledge of the makeup to make it easier for the makeup artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's times I will be up till 3 in the morning learning something that I probably have no reason to learn, but at least I know. You know what I mean?
It's good to know because not everybody has that attitude either. And so it's like if you're knowledgeable, like you said, you make it easier for everybody. It's like I'm not gonna put lotion on today so that it doesn't wipe off, or whatever it might be.
Exactly, like with doing the makeup from Mojo Jojo, like I understand what type of glue to get, paint, the prosthetic, and then like you can't reuse prosthetics, so I have to however many days I gotta do it, I gotta buy one for each day. Right. So it's almost like putting on a new underwear, you know what I'm saying? So like, and then making sure we just match the, the scene and everything. That's all it is, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, knowing that with the prosthetic, understanding what am I getting into, because sometimes prosthetics, you can't really breathe like that, you know what I'm saying?
No, not at all.
Yeah. So, I'm like sitting here breathing out my mouth. And then people look at me like, "Are you angry?" like, bro, leave me alone.
My nose is covered, bro. I can't. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're mouth breathing all day on set, like that's not good.
And then like you're trying to like drink water, like you can't get the you gotta drink water out of a straw and everything.
Right.
The prosthetics now was better than last year. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then it'll be good to see what I think the audience will feel, especially like the coloring and the way that it looks.
Oh
like,
yeah.
As a piece all together, it's like so good.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So I guess in the next year, where do you see yourself? Where do you want to be?
Definitely directing commercials. Like big commercial, or at least a show or a movie.
Okay.
Definitely, because but my thing is, I'm the type of person I have my hands on everything. And I'm not gonna say too much, but I have my hands on studios. I have my hands on music. I have my hands on this. I have my hands on that. It's coming to the point that anybody's like, oh yeah, if you look at my name is like trickled throughout everything. You know what I mean? No, I definitely want to direct some huge commercials. That's why I be making these spec commercials.
Right.
Just to show people I can make things out of little to nothing. I literally have. Let me tell y'all a fun fact. A lot of my videos and productions, people are like, "Oh yeah, you probably spent $10,000." I have never spent that in my entire life, ever, for a video. The most I've ever spent for a video, and I'm not gonna tell you which video, because it will blow your mind, is $1,500. The most I've ever spent on a video. I have little to nothing, and I try to make nothing into something. If somebody gives me $10, I'm gonna make the thing look like $1,000. I promise you.
It's true. It's true. What would be your note to kids who maybe want to start doing this type of stuff based off of that?
Oh, just start. Because if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. No, I figure that's plain and simple. You just gotta do it. Find it's all trial and error. You just do the if you want to do videos, do it. It's all trial and error. Find your niche. Moment that click, cool. Now don't stay at that niche too long. My thing is, I tell people, don't stay at that niche too long. Show them that you have other skills as well too. You know what I'm saying? Because there's I did dark humor for a little bit, and I'm cool. People don't know I did stand-up comedy as well too.
Wow.
So I did stand-up comedy, but I did not want to be known as a funny guy. Now, I left that, and I would show people I can do more than just jokes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I can
Right.
do this, I can do that, this, that, and third. You know what I mean?
That's a good point. Because I feel like a lot of people like to push, like, work on a niche, that's how you get big. Like, just do your niche, just do your niche.
Right, but do you want to be known to be as the one guy that does reactions?
Right.
Not knocking down reactions or anything.
Right.
Everybody needs, like, I love seeing new people pop off.
Mhm.
I love seeing new people
Right.
pop off. But at the end of the day, just, what can you do just by reaction? Because at the end of the day, that audience within 5 years is going to grow.
Good point.
So,
Good point.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, a lot of the, like, Vine audience, they're growing.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of the Vine audience is growing. So,
Right.
not that I like the people that like in Vine, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, they blew up, and some of them they crumbled. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dang. I like this. I appreciate you coming for this little interview that
No
we did.
problem.
Yeah,
No.
a lot of good stuff and a lot of like inspiration, I would say. Seeing the storyline and how it all progresses and where you start and then where you end up and how you even just keep going. A lot of people, I think, crack under that pressure or don't even want to try because they don't know.
Oh, cracking!
You know?
Like, you're gonna have pressure no matter what. You've been on my set. There's times there's like things thrown at me, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
And you gotta stay calm. Freaking out ain't gonna do anything.
It is
Freaking out is not gonna do anything. Like, you can say it to yourself. Like, how many times I've been just sitting there. Well,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
I just accept the terms and conditions at that
Right.
moment. So like, I'm like, all right, what's serious and what's not.
Right.
All right, let's change this. Let's do that.
You gotta rewrite whatever it might be.
Right. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, there was a moment I had to rewrite a whole scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna name the project, but
Yeah.
like, there's an actor that was late. Oh no, actually couldn't even show up to the scene till
Right.
after I was wrapped. So I had to rewrite the whole scene. Called DJ like, yo, I may need help.
Yeah. Which is good that you asked.
I did.
Yeah.
So he stopped what he was doing. He was like, all right, bet.
Right.
Boom, boom, boom. Within like 15 minutes, all right,
Yeah.
And then he gave me the reason. All right, cool, let's go for it.
Right.
We went there. You
And
know?
the funny thing is, I feel like if I'm thinking the same scene, it came out almost even better. Than what
It came out.
you know?
Came out great. It
Yeah.
still came out great. Like,
Yeah.
as if like it's seamless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You would have never anticipated or never would have thought.
Exactly.
So, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it.
No, I'll tell you, yeah, no, the pressure is real. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, like, if you ever think about quitting, think about the reason why you started.
Ooh.
My older brother always tell me that. My older brother always tell me that if you think about quitting, pause for a minute and remember why you started.
Wow.
Give yourself 5 reasons why you started. And if you can't, maybe it is time to hang it up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think there was only like one time I might have thought of quitting, and that was like before my brand deal. But yeah, I was like, just the gas pedal was just, I was just applying pressure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's like your inspiration to kind of keep it going? Is there something that you're like, some people I'll talk to and they're like, oh, I don't like my haters and that's why I want to like show them where I'm at. Others are like,
look, that whole hater thing. Look, I don't care. Like, I hope people don't hate me, but that's in a perfect world.
Of course.
But you're gonna have that. That's gonna fuel you. The people that tells me I can't, I laugh. But it's more like I'm able to inspire others. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of pushes me is it's like back in my mind, like, I know I could get it, and then to the point that like I'm pretty much wanting to change my situation, to change my family's situation, so I get better. You know what I'm saying? So we're good. I want it to the point that like I know for a fact that I'm hearing other people's stories. Like, I'm the type of person, somebody else win, I feel like I won. I'm like, like I want to. Like, shoot. Like, you know what I'm saying? I love seeing people win. So like, seeing like some of these like, influencers or like, celebrities buying their mother's like car, and it's not about material and all that stuff, but the fact that they're able to come out from the trenches to buy their mother's car, this, that, and the third, I'm like, yo, I want to do that. So that's like one of the biggest motivation. Like, yo,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like, it's even like there are certain deaths that happen along the way. Like, you know, there was a time period I was gonna drop Mario Kart, my Mario Kart video, and I get a phone call the day I was gonna drop Mario Kart. Your grandmother passed away. So I was just like, okay, cool. So like, in my head, like, she didn't get to see what I need to do.
Yeah.
So that hurt. You know, that hurt really deep. You know what I'm saying? So like, she didn't get to see what I, you know, like the fruits and labor. I'm like, all right. So I delayed Mario Kart. Think about it. I'm like, I gotta make sure. Like, now I gotta push even harder.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Army of Two. You was on set. I get a phone call. Boom. Hey, your pops got stage 4 stomach cancer. And next thing, I think the day of, so Veda was with me when I got that call. And then the day of Don't Disrespect Halloween 3, I'm on, before set, I get the call. Hey, your father passed. You know what I'm saying?
It's a short period.
Yeah, that was a very short period of time. Very short period of time. So like, okay, text Veda, I'm like, hey, if I seem off, I apologize.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's going on until I told him after. You know what I
Right.
mean? But obviously, I did what I had to do with acting.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna like bring my feelings on set and everything.
Right.
But no, it's like now like I'm like pushing to the point that I'm like, yo, it's more like all right, I'm able to inspire my circle, but I want to make sure my family is good as well too. You know what I mean? So
I like that. I like that a lot.
yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. This whole life is hard, you know, but you just keep pushing.
The way the economy is right now, life is hard. Especially in Los Angeles.
Did you see the Chevron coming up?
No, I want to look. How much is it?
$8.
Send me that Chevron so I can go see it.
Oh my God. I pass it every day and I'm just like, this is so ridiculous.
I gotta see that because I just, the most I was sick.
Yeah.
I was sick, you know what I mean? Like, God bless him. That's all. That's all I'm saying. God bless him.
Him specifically, I'm like, he's always trying to go like that extra $1 or $2 more, and I'm like, what is this? It's a weird time, you know, from the gas prices to just, I think like inflation of everything to like people not wanting to like pay as much as they used to for certain things. It's a weird time.
No, it's a very weird time. We're due for a recession. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, the pandemic was a blessing and a curse. It was a blessing because it reset a lot of things. Yeah. And gave a lot of people opportunity, despite like, you know, the lives that's been taken and all that stuff. Like, and like the BS that has happened with the, you know, the politics and all that. That I was wild. You know what I'm saying? That was really crazy. I literally thought Jesus was about to pull up from, you know, I thought he was gonna pull up the, you know, with the from the fiery gates and with the gauntlet and humanity. But that's a whole different conversation.
It felt that way.
But I was like, you know, the pandemic reset a lot of things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it sharpened a lot of people's skills, like, because now people are starting to see, like, when did you start doing this? Well, I started practicing during the pandemic.
Yeah. Started reading up about it. Started doing this and that.
Exactly. Yeah. So now the times that we are now, like the inflation on stuff, we gotta repay all that back. You know, we gotta.
Isn't it? That's how it is, isn't it?
Because like the flight tickets, you know, they want everything back in blood.
Oh my God.
They want everything back in blood.
It's awful. I've never seen plane tickets from here to New York for like $600.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was like, wait, since when? And like Houston in New York, I saw it and it was like $400. And I was like, that used to be $220, maybe.
And even a week before, like the week before, like
would still be cheap.
Like $200, you know what I'm saying?
I'd get a
so
Spirit
like,
flight,
I spent close a decent amount going to my sister's graduation recently. Yeah. My sister was just like, are you gonna drive? I'm like, I'm not driving. Yeah. I gotta fly. Yeah. So now I'm like, that was annoying. So now I got to go to Texas real soon. I'm like, I was debating is either driving or flying. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna drive.
Yeah, it's an easy drive.
It's a very easy drive because once you hit the San Diego or whatever, it's to stay on here for 1,500 miles. I'll just shut off my. I'll turn off my GPS. I'm like, oh no.
And just cruise, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
God, gosh, Texas is pretty easy. I don't know if Amtrak goes to Dallas, but that could also be another cheaper route because Amtrak going to Houston was still like $200.
Right. No,
It might be longer, but I mean, at least you have to drive.
I'd rather just go.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do it myself.
Fair enough. It should be a fun trip. That's in June or July?
July.
July. Okay. And then you said you're doing a premiere here?
I'm doing a premiere here.
Okay,
as well.
nice.
And then I'm dropping it on July 21st. And I'm gonna go on hiatus. I'm disappearing.
Okay.
I'm disappearing.
Okay.
Because I know me personally, once I do a lot of work,
Yeah.
I disappear for a minute.
As you should, though.
You're
You
not
need a
gonna
break.
find me. You're not gonna find me for a while.
You'll be working on other things.
Well, yeah, like I'm gonna be writing for Legends of Zelda, Kids Next Door, and my second installment, Army of Two, and then try to drop Power Rangers.
Nice.
Try to. I've been running into hiccups. I tried to drop that project. I'm gonna drop it.
Yeah.
You're like, we're never gonna see that. I'm like, no, we are dropping it. It's just hard. You don't understand. Power Rangers is such a particular demographic.
Yeah.
That's a little conversation.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm excited to see what's to come. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Where can people find you if they want to find you?
So YouTube, Irving Lambert. So Instagram, Irving Lambert _, Twitter, Irving Lambert _, TikTok, Irving Lambert _. So I'm on all platforms. YouTube, Irving Lambert. I make movies. You know what I'm saying? I like to make movies and fun stuff. So don't take me seriously on the internet. Sort of, maybe. Give me a chance. That's all I'm saying.